One of the greatest lessons I've learnt in my life is only to recall magical moments, and many of those moments are centered around food. My earliest memory is falling asleep in a pumpkin patch with the sound of my grandma calling my name. There are two things that I took with me all that way to here from my childhood. One, what a real tomato tastes like, and two, how food has an incredible power to bring people together. Armed with that understanding, I ended up working for the chef and food campaigner Jamie Oliver for 17 years. Jamie gave me incredible opportunities to see and experience how food can bring us together, and for that I am eternally grateful. Over time, I started volunteering for other charities and food-based organizations as well, and one of the most profound experiences of my life was when we took a group of young chefs to Calais to cook for Syrian refugees. That experience had a life-changing effect on the young chefs and a huge impact on me, and it would inform the next big step that I took in my life. In July 2021, I opened The Good Kitchen in a remote town in Sicily called Musamelli. I'd always dreamed of opening a food space where people could connect and judgment was left at the door. Every week, I rescue supermarket food that's been deemed surplus, and we put that food to good use. On Thursdays, we'd send food parcels to the families in the town, and on Sunday, we open the doors to the kitchen and invite everyone in for a lunch. To date, we've served over 6,000 meals in the kitchen, and we've helped many people in the town to connect. The Good Kitchen is more about numbers, though, and today I'm going to be sharing 6 of those stories of the volunteers and community that keep me going every day. When this beautiful soul came to the kitchen on day 1, we asked the question, what's right with Marco, instead of what's wrong with Marco? This man has far more potential than anyone has ever given him credit for. And every week he comes and cooks the meals and helps me deliver them to the families who are in food poverty. We're helping Marco to gain independence so that he can live independently by himself. He's a true inspiration to me and many others in the kitchen. In May 2022, we welcomed 5 families who fled the war from Ukraine. Every Friday, we would open the doors to the kitchen and welcome the families to come and cook together and for the children to be there to play with other children from the town. The children could not speak Italian or English, but it did not matter. They were connected through food. Vera, pictured with me in the center there, has become a great friend. When the bombs rained down on her town, Vera bundled her children, Dasha, Polina, Yeva, and her mother Luba into a car and drove all the way from Ukraine to Musamelli. She knew Musamelli was a safe place because when Vera was 10, she went to Musamelli to detox from the Chernobyl explosion. Can you imagine ever having to leave your country once in your life, but then having to leave it again? I'm so proud of Vera. She's now opened Musamelli's first commercial art gallery. Befriending the families from Ukraine has taught me never to feel sorry for myself, even when I'm having a challenging day. Loneliness can be a problem in Musamelli, especially for the elderly, as many of their families have had to leave to find work elsewhere. Please meet the 2 Giuseppes. Giuseppe in the middle has become a great friend. So when he first arrived at the kitchen, I couldn't understand a word he said because he only speaks the Sicilian dialect. Now, I don't know if you've heard Sicilian, but it sounds nothing like Italian. For instance, I finally learnt the word for sleep in Italian, which is dormire, and in Sicilian is va cucate. Giuseppe comes and sits in the corner of the kitchen and watches me prepare his meal for the day. The connection that he has in the kitchen means a lot to him and a great deal to us as well. And he also looks after the young children from Ukraine when they're in the kitchen. Kolodra worked in a pizzeria for 20 years and she's been volunteering with us since day 1. She comes and helps me cook all the meals on a Sunday, runs our children's cooking classes, and she bakes the most incredible cakes and biscuits for our events. I'm so proud of Kolodra. As a result of gaining all the confidence in the kitchen, she's now studying her high school diploma. Nicholas and Francois came to one of our first cooking classes and they've been volunteering in the kitchen ever since. When they first came to the kitchen, they were really shy, had no friends, they couldn't look me in the eye, And since then, they've gained an enormous amount of confidence. They have many friends, and they've just really grown into being incredible, incredible young men. There are 3 turning points that I noticed with the boys that set them on this path. 1, learning to cook and then discovering that they were good at cooking. 2, preparing all the meals for the families and delivering those meals to people in the town. And 3, looking after the young children from Ukraine. Last year, it was the boys' birthday, and I bought them a voucher for 20 euros each for their birthday, and I took them shopping. I was at the shop, and they seemed to be taking a really long time, and I went up to the counter, and I saw that they had a gift for me. They noticed that my phone cover had cracked, and instead of spending all the money on themselves, they bought this gift for me as a way of saying thank you. This beautiful act of kindness will stay with me forever. I sometimes think that I was meant to be in Musameli to look after the 2 lads that are in this photo. I can't show you their faces or say their names because they are from the local orphanage. Now, I know that's going to conjure up an image in your mind, but please be assured the house where they live is full of love, hope, and connection. The boys volunteer in the kitchen every week, and I've never once heard them complain, and they're always grateful for every opportunity that comes their way. We're working with the town to teach them life skills and give them a future where they're employed, mainly in the kitchen cooking, which is a great thing. There are 2 main objectives of the kitchen. Well, actually, there are 3. 1, create job opportunities for people of the town, especially the elderly, because there is 50% youth unemployment in Sicily. 2, we're creating a community kitchen workshop for young chefs from all around the world who can come to the kitchen and learn how to set up their own community kitchens. And the 3rd one we have achieved already, and that is never to judge our community and always offer a seat at the table for anyone who knocks on the door. Recently in the kitchen, I noticed that the families on a Sunday were coming to collect their food earlier than when it was ready. So instead of turning them away, we offered them a table, coffee and tea, and we welcomed into the space. My heart sang when I turned around the other day and saw them all chatting, connecting, and being together. For many of these people, this social connection on a Sunday is the only connection they'll have all week. There are 3 things that I've learnt since I've been in the kitchen. 1, if you ever start a project from scratch, from grassroots or a community kitchen, always look after yourself first and foremost. There is nothing I need in this life. I have everything. I'm at peace, I have health, and from there, it is the perfect place to start helping others. 2, always remember the people you're looking after and have the right intention in your heart. In the kitchen, we create opportunities for our community to be seen and heard. And 3, what we've come to know is time is the greatest gift that you can ever give anyone. We create time for our volunteers and for our community and the people we look after for them to be seen and heard. Friends often ask me how they can volunteer in their communities, and I say to them, well, you don't have to move to another town where you don't speak Sicilian, you don't know anyone, you start a grassroots project from scratch, but you can look in your own backyard. I tell them a story about an experiment I did when I lived in London. Every time I got off the bus, I would say thank you to the bus driver. At first it was a bit embarrassing, and then I thought, you know what, I'm never going to see these people again, and maybe, just maybe, somebody else will say thank you. The bus driver feels good about themselves. This small little act of kindness can have a ripple effect. It's like that saying, from little things, big things come. No one needs to give you permission to grab a packet of biscuits, to knock on your neighbour's door and check in to see if they're okay, especially the elderly. Now more than ever, we need to be connected, and the perfect way to do that is through food. Thank you.